Didn't you think of moving away? Oh, no, then again, San Francisco.
Lost.
The Cult of
Frisco!
This is the Cult of Frisco Podcast. We are back after a 9-month hiatus. My name is Gary Beekler, your host in San Francisco, California, and I am here with a special guest host. He's actually going to be coming along with us for the entire season. Yes.
Yes.
Are you on board? Yes.
Yes.
So we have now 3 hosts. Awesome. Harry Maldonado could not make it. He has a date.
Oh.
So So good for Harry. I am with Robert Cheary, who is in, what city are you in right now?
Stockton, California.
In Stockton, California.
Yes.
We met through the Comic Outpost. He was one of the fine customers at my store. We became friends because of his great taste in Doctor Who. Robert's actually very tall.
I am, yes.
Yes.
A monster of a person.
A monster, yes. Fire bad. Urgh! No, just kidding. So this is a podcast that we actually are not. This is pretty much a cheerleading rah-rah podcast for Doctor Who. We love Doctor Who. This is all about passion. You're not going to hear a lot of negativity. This is from the American perspective, the Northern California perspective, as we like to say.
Right, yes.
Where does the Cult of Frisco come from? There is the Cult of Skaro, as you recall, from Dalek Sec, Dalek Thay. And there's also this horrible nickname for San Francisco called Frisco. I thought it sounded good, therefore we got a name. So, Robert, we're doing a preview this evening, just a short one, a little 30-minute preview of Season 9, but Robert had, on my behest, had not seen Season 8, and he just went through it, and
Right.
Please tell me your thoughts, Robert.
Well, at first I was not liking the new Doctor. I thought it was almost a bad choice for it. I felt that the connection between Clara and the Doctor had just kind of disappeared between them. But after watching more of the episodes and finally Peter Capaldi, I think, found who he is as the Doctor. So I think now he's become pretty awesome. I'd like that.
I agree. There's people out there on the internet saying he's the greatest Doctor. I'm not there yet. I
wouldn't go that far yet, no.
Yeah, no, he's like in the Sylvester McCoy range for me. He's better than the 6th Doctor. He's right up there with like the 5th and 7th Doctor for me. Peter Davison, Sylvester McCoy. He's more like Sylvester McCoy to me, which is like just the daft old man. I'm with you. I still, to this day, while I love Capaldi, question that decision, and I wonder what brought that on. It must be that he's friends with Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat. But let's be frank, old guys don't sell action figures. Doctor Who did lose a significant part of the audience at first. I think they brought him back because Stephen Moffat's storytelling last season was pretty incredible. So what were some of your standout episodes?
The one that really got me into Peter Capaldi was the Orient Express. That one definitely. At the end of that episode, when he finally just went into pure Doctor mode, I was like, this guy's pretty awesome now. So that was the one that I really enjoyed. What else? It wasn't to that point. That one was like episode 5 or 6, though, wasn't it?
That was late. That was late in the season. That's episode, I think. It was 6 or 7. It was right then where, it was a slow build. Deep Breath, if you go back and watch Deep Breath, it's actually a good episode, but if you're watching it with I'm Still Missing Matt Smith, It's tough to watch. It's hard to watch. And I think this is the first time I really experienced, because I'm a newer fan, a true regeneration to where now I understand why people were like, how could you hate Matt Smith after Tenet? I understand why, because you're still mourning your doctor.
Right.
And Peter, it's still like, and we could get into this later. We can get into why they chose. I have my theory on why they chose. I know he wasn't their first choice. And I know the BBC would rather have a young, I don't want to say young, but I don't know, pushing late 50s, early 60s is pushing it to me. I think the Doctor, I like Eccleston's Doctor, that age,
Right.
Between 35 and 50. And I guess Capaldi's pretty close to that, but I want him to be spry. I still want him to be spry. I don't want the old grandpa. You know what? I'm not a fan of the first Doctor. I've now watched all the episodes, and I'm not a fan of the first Doctor. I don't know if you've seen any, but
honestly, I've only seen 9 through current, and I've watched some Tom Baker. Haven't seen many of the others. I tried to watch the movie. It didn't kind of work for me.
No, the Eighth Doctor, the movie is terrible. I love it. I'm sure you saw the prequel with the Eighth Doctor in it right before the Day of the Doctor.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen more of him. Paul McGann was pretty awesome in that. But, I mean, yeah, that Fox movie was so god-awful. Some people liked it, but, I mean, like, Paul McGann was good in it, but it was really god-awful, and it's no surprise it didn't make it. I became such a fan, Robert, and I do talk a lot, so feel free to interrupt whenever you want.
Right.
I went back and I ran through all of them, and I watched them all. And I'm not an ageist by any means. The Third Doctor, I freaking love the Third Doctor. He's awesome. I wouldn't want to see him in New Adventures, but those were really good. I mean, they get kind of overshadowed by Tom Baker's stuff, but the Third Doctor's run set up the Master. I mean, the whole thing from the Master is from John Pertwee's run. If you don't know who he is, his son is Alfred in Gotham. So yes, Sean Pertwee.
It's a fun fact right there.
That is a fun fact for you. So the other I liked. What'd you think of Flatline, the graffiti one? I really liked that one too. I thought that was really cool with the shrinking TARDIS and.
Yes, that one was very good, and right after the Orient Express, so I was on board with with Capaldi at that point. So I really enjoyed Flatline. It went back to kind of the older, more of the 10th Doctor or 11th Doctor kind of episodes, I think. Didn't this season? I thought a lot of season 8 felt like Tennant's run. It felt more like Russell T Davies than Stephen Moffat in a good way, in totally a good way. The monsters were just a little, I don't want to say a little sillier, but cool. The bank teller from Time Heist, the giant slug thing that sucked out your brain. That was cool. Right. I like that. That was very probably 9th and 10th Doctor-ish, I think. So that's probably why I started liking them a lot more.
Yes. And I want to address a fact right now because we're going to get right into. I loved. Let's look forward to season 9. What season 8 did, it carried on what season 7 did, which they had this whole what they called a movie of the week thing, where they weren't going to do any 2-parters, and I thought that was just a huge mistake. I thought they wasted. I mean, there were good episodes, but there's so many throwaway episodes. Doctor Who was made on the serial, and I know that was a decision that came down from BBC because they thought season 6 got away from them, which I don't. I thought the whole Rivel Song thing was awesome. So I'm really happy to hear, Robert, that season 9 is pretty much all 2-parters.
Nice.
Like that's it. Yeah. It's only got one single episode that's written by Mark Gatiss, but apparently that rolls into the next 2. And apparently the 2-parters are like there's still 2 different episodes, but everything's so connected this series. And I want to hear some of your reactions to like what's going to come up now. First of all, how did you like Missy as the Master?
Missy as the Master, that surprised me a lot. I was shocked, really. She was very more evil. This is probably the most evil master I think we've seen, and it was
absolutely
it was. She was very good though, very good, very creepy. It was insane.
She was cold-blooded.
Yeah.
I mean, how she killed our poor Osgood there, which apparently is making a comeback this season. Because remember, she has a Zygon twin. So, and I always thought that when they killed her. I don't know which one's alive. But, so we've had a couple of trailers. I was fortunate enough to, when I went to Comic-Con, the only reason I went was to go to the Doctor Who panel. And I was prepared to wait overnight until I got there. Then I changed my mind. I said, F this S. I am not going to wait in a line. And fortune rained down on me. I ran back to the parking lot to get something out of my car. I was with my friends. We were walking back, and I guess this flood of people was coming out of Hall H. And apparently it was just whatever panel was before Doctor Who was so bad, everybody walked out. I can't remember what it was, though. And all of a sudden I heard this guy go, "Dude, there's seats open." And I turned to the guys I was with. I'm like, and they're like, "Go." I went and I got to see the whole panel. I videoed it and put it up on the Sutro-Watchtower website. I should have put it on the Cult of Frisco site now that I think about it. By the way, Cult of Frisco, Sutro-Watchtower is our sister podcast. This is all under the banner of the nerdrotic.com, Nerdrotic Productions. So welcome aboard. Your pay is the knowledge of a job well done, Robert.
All right.
That's your pay. Someday, you never know.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You will be able to come to cons with us now. So this is good.
Nice.
So I was going somewhere with this. Oh, yeah, so I saw the trailers, and the two trailers, the first one didn't only show stuff from like the first couple episodes. The second one showed a lot more, especially those eyeballs in the hands.
Right. Yeah.
I'm starting to, you know what I think those are? Those are Daleks.
You think so?
I think it's the first. So what we're getting in the first episode, spoiler warning, we're getting a young Davros. And we're doing the kill Hitler scenario. Apparently, that's the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, had a chance to kill Davros and all the Daleks, and he chose not to. But apparently he's changed his mind. And this is only speculation right now, Robert, so I hope I'm not ruining too much for you. But part of being a podcast is getting stuff spoiled.
Right.
So apparently it's a young Davros, and the Master is coming back. Missy's coming back. And apparently this two-parter, the Magician's Apprentice and the Witch's Familiar, is going to feel like a finale. So first off, you watched Davros at the, he was in the end of Tenets, at the end of season 4, which was one of my favorite finales. I don't know. What you're thinking on the Daleks, Robert? Do you think they're kind of overdone, or do you think there's still some new territory there?
Well, no, I like them. They're good. I love how cheesy they are and so overwhelming, pretty much. They're mass numbers, and they're extremely hard to kill. So I don't know. I like them for some reason, even though they look. The first time I saw them, I thought it was extremely cheesy. They didn't really update them too much, but then I loved it. I can't get enough of it. Yeah.
There. So I don't know if you watch the trailer, there's so much going on here, and you got and for a newer Doctor Who fan like you, there's a bunch of old stuff they brought back that I don't know a lot of people are going to catch. Now, there's a lot of Daleks in there that you might recognize from season 4, right? You saw the Emperor, or not I forgot, Supreme Dalek, the one with the red.
Right, yeah. The Power Ranger ones.
So what interests me is it looks like they're on the planet. Now, you did see the prequel, The Night of the Doctor with Paul McGann, where he regenerated into the War Doctor?
Yes. Okay.
So he was on Karn, remember? He was on, and they had that elixir that he drank out of. And
right.
Yeah, Karn is from a 4th Doctor episode where basically this cabal of women have taken Time Lord science and kind of amped it up because there was a crash Time Lord there called Mobius. And it was from the episode The Hand of Mobius. And Mobius was gone. He only existed in mind form. which he could have been the Great Intelligence. So he was trying to piece together a body like Frankenstein. Well, there's a guy in here where right after the kid screams, there's a guy who goes, "Where's the doctor?" And he's got like stripes. He looks like a person who's been put back together. It looks like they're on Karn again, and it looks like that might be Mobius. So So what I'm thinking here, what I'm getting at, long story short, is it looks like we're going to be strong on. We're going to find some Gallifrey. I think by the end of the season we find Gallifrey.
I think they're going to finally find it, huh?
Yes, yeah. I think that, and that's going to change the story. I mean, like this new Doctor Who, the only Doctor Who you've known, he has been the only Time Lord,
right?
You know, other than the Master. But I mean, I don't know if a lot of the new audience, you know, who's just watched new ones, knows what the Time Lords were like. They were like British Parliament, you know, like not necessarily evil, but overly bureaucratic. I think we're going to get a lot of the Time Lords back, but there's, you know, I'm just going to run down some of the rumors I've heard. Tell me what you think. The craziest rumor I've heard is Moffat said that the season finale for this one is going to be one nobody saw coming. And he said this before season 8 started. Oh, wow. So he was talking about the series. So the rumor is the Doctor gets degenerated. Oh. And we might see Paul McGann. There were rumors that Russell T Davies and David Tennant were in Cardiff filming. They were there. I don't know if they were filming, but they were at the studios. It's interesting. This on the heels of. You did hear the bad news? What season 10?
Oh no! What bad news?
Yes, you haven't heard.
No.
There will not be a full season 10.
No, what? Why?
Or season 10 will be delayed. They haven't said. BBC is going through a lot of crazy stuff right now. They're talking England's in turmoil. All of Europe is in turmoil because of the refugee crisis, and they're running out of money. And Britain might want to leave the EU. Britain has turned conservative because of all the crap that's going on over there, and they're talking about privatizing the BBC. Which would be the only thing that could kill Doctor Who. But I don't think it'd kill it, but we might get a situation which really sucks because Capaldi's just coming into his own.
Right.
I think worst case scenario, it's a bunch of specials. Like with the Tennant ones, we get 4 specials. Or it's a half season. Either way, it sucks. They've done it before, though. I mean, every few years they do take a break, but I guess because this is an expensive show. You know... but I don't know. So the Doctor regenerating, the possibility of the BBC like delaying season 10, and they haven't refuted that. I don't know. That would hurt, wouldn't it? I mean, that would hurt the fan base.
Right.
We just got used to Capaldi, right?
Yeah. I mean, the same kind of thing was it with Heroes when a shortened season and it just kind of killed it.
And the writer's strike.
Yeah. It wasn't the same after that.
No, and I don't think it could be the same either. I think Stephen Moffat might be. I don't know if he's going to hang on. I don't know what's going on, but that one is disturbing to me. But the good news is we have River Song coming back for the Christmas special.
That is good news. I would like to see more of her. See what else she has to offer. That would be pretty exciting.
I wonder what incarnation she's going to be coming in. You know, it'll be interesting because we've said goodbye to her, but we could have said goodbye to her, but that was just her ghost version. Maybe she found a way out of it, and that was just an echo. I don't know. But I think it's pretty clear what that spells out is I think Clara, and you know, I've been looking everywhere, and I can't find it, but I think Clara's done. I think this is definitely our last season with Clara.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, she was ready. She even said she was ready to go, and then she changed her mind. And they had to rewrite the end of the Christmas special a couple times. So, actually, she wasn't originally supposed to even be in it.
Really?
So, it was, yeah. She was supposed to be done after the 10th episode. So,
well, that's what bothered me about this season too. Is Clara staying or going, and you know what is she doing? Like the entire time we were thinking she was leaving, then she was staying, and then leaving again. So I didn't like that aspect of it.
Yeah, it's funny is I always up until this season, the only ones I liked her in was Asylum of the Dalek and Snowman, when she was like the Echo version of Clara. Right. But actual Clara, I was not a big fan of. And it wasn't until later in the season you see what kind of companion. She wasn't just another cute face, and she wasn't like, hey, let's go along for an adventure. But I think we're getting that this year. I think we're finally getting Clara, like, not being halfway out the TARDIS. Like, she's all in now, which is good, because I was getting tired of it too. I was getting so tired of it.
Right, yeah. After, what was it, the last episode, or which one was it, where she wanted to throw all the keys in the volcano? Was that Dark Water? Or? Yeah, Dark Water. After that, I think I hope her character development's a little better, and honestly, but
yeah, that was a little harsh. They went to extremes in season 8, and they hit on most of them. Some they didn't.
Well, I think the volcano, that scene was great. I thought she was just at the end of her ropes, and it reminded me so much of Rose wanting to save her dad, and it just created chaos after that. So we already know that you can't change time like that, and we basically, I sided with the Doctor. I was like, there's really nothing you can do. Don't do it, and but go ahead.
No, go on. Sorry, go ahead. You talk. No. I talk too much.
No, so I don't know. I think she just it was better for me to see her like that. I think just almost out of character, but not really. Just I don't know.
Well, I think that was a good resolution, because frankly, I was finding her to be a little bit of a cold biatch. At Kill the Moon, I thought she overreacted by breaking up with the Doctor, but I think that's real. I think that was real. I think that was the whole point, is that was supposed to be an overreaction, and the Doctor was cold. But I think he was right there too. That had to be her decision. He just handled it so poorly, his bedside manner.
Right.
You're right. That scene at the end was super real and raw, and the resolution from that scene was like beautiful. It was like, all friendship should be like that, because he's all, you fucking burned me. You betrayed my trust. Everything we're about. And she's like, he's like, go to hell. She's like, fair enough. He's all, no, we'll go to hell. We're still friends. And he's all, yeah. Do you think something like that would break our friendship? Do you think our friendship's that weak? And that is like, I was like, whoa. I mean, that was just really well written. I mean, that's like, you would hope that all friendships are like that. It's like, yeah, you fucked up. You were mad. I still love you,
Right.
And that was really, really freaking cool. One of the better scenes. And that two-parter, I'm so mixed on the two-parter at the end, because there was some great, I mean, dude, the end of Dark Water was like straight up Tenet. It reminded me of Turn Left. You know what I mean? Just that kind of, oh shit,
right.
Like stuff jumping off. And, you think about the Master brought back the Cyberman, and still has, and I love how they keep making the Cyberman just a little more creepy and a little more creepy.
Now they're just undead people, which is very creepy.
Very creepy, and I know they got that from Game of Thrones. So, like how do you fight an army where they bring your dead to fight against you? It's like you can't win. And the twist of it was the Doctor's army at the end, and Missy just wanted her friend back. Because if you watch those third Doctor Who's where the Master is introduced, and he's played, I can't remember that, Roger Delgado. He's played by Roger Delgado, who's like forever going to be my Master now. Like, was so freaking good, and you can tell right there that they were buds, and they just had a different point of view. But at the end of the day, they were always going to be friends. So they harken back to that, because you see Tenet with his Master trying to be friends with the Master, but the Master's like always pushing him off. But it's kind of hard to figure that without seeing the third Doctor and the Master's their first relationship, which was the Doctor's always saving the Master's ass at the end, or the Master does help the Doctor in the end. Like the Master originally just wants to be mischievous. He wasn't really murderous, but they did kind of say the Time War changed him. So I hope by them being on Karn, the whole point was that they show the Master regeneration. Because Karn has that elixir, and that's how he changes sex. And I hope they address that issue, because Moffat, they asked him again at Comic-Con, like, would you have a female Doctor? And he said, I addressed the issue with the Master. Which is, it's possible, but you can't do it through regular regeneration. You have to go to Karn and take an elixir. And I want your honest answer, not a PC answer. Like, you and I are talking.
Right.
Female Doctor. Would you be down with a female Doctor?
Ooh, man. I don't know. I'm sure it's like with every Doctor regeneration though. Like from when my first Doctor was Tennant, so I'm still sad that he's not around anymore. But it would be weird. It would be different. Especially because the companion issue too. Whenever they have a female companion, there's always that love interest between them, that weird kind of connection. And then if she were to change into a woman, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it would kind of be a strange dynamic.
It's a strange dynamic. It's a kids show, and you want the kids to learn about this. I'm not a PC guy, and I'm right with Sylvester McCoy on this one. The only reason you would change the Doctor's sex is if you ran out of stories. The Doctor is a male, okay, just like Spider-Man's a male, just like James Bond is a male, just like Wonder Woman's a female, just like Buffy's a female. Now, if you went ahead and created a Time Lord female character as a side story and developed that, I would watch it equally with Doctor Who. I have nothing against strong female leads or weak female leads or female leads. I hate that term, strong female. That's like saying weak females are bad or something. And if you know me at all, and if you know you at all, we're not like that. And I'm not speaking for you, but I would stop watching. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it would lose me, because it would lose me the same way changing Thor into a woman lost me. It's like, why not just create another character? When you're changing a character's sex, it's like you're playing games, okay? Because for one, it had already been done with Thor, but you're just running out of stories. You know what? It's pandering in the worst way, and it's insulting. Create another character, build that character up, give them as much care as you did Thor, and see what happens. Because changing Thor's sex did nothing but end the Marvel Universe, or be part of ending the Marvel Universe. You know what I mean? So it didn't work. It got some headlines, but
right. Well,
that's just how I feel about it. I love Buffy's one of my favorite things in the world. I wouldn't want her to be a man.
It would change the entire story of it too.
It would. It would change what I'm interested in. Now, there's a lot of women out there who want a woman Doctor. Well, and it's just, I don't know. You want to root for somebody, and they're not wrong either. It wouldn't be right for me, and it's not because I'm old fashioned or anything. It's just because I watch stuff that's story driven, not sexuality driven, not politically driven, just fantasy and story. I don't want to be part of that, the real world. That's why I watch Doctor Who. I watch Doctor Who for escapism and entertainment, and I don't want to think about it that much. And Star Trek was good for real world stuff, and Doctor Who does deal with some stuff like race. They deal with tons of stuff, but they do it in a very light manner, And I don't think it'll happen, because I think Doctor Who's coming towards the end, to be honest with you. As far as this run is concerned.
So you think season 10 will be the end of it then?
I know. I think it's getting towards its run. I think it'll go like 13, 14 seasons. But and I think we might get one more Doctor. It might be female. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Capaldi's going to stay. Capaldi's going to stay around longer than Matt Smith, and that's why. Oh, I wanted to get back to why they chose Capaldi. I think the reason they didn't go young, is they didn't want another Matt Smith. While they loved him and they never said anything. Shit. Stop. They never said anything. They never said anything bad about him. It always seemed like he had one foot out the door. You know what I mean? It always seemed like he was. I remember after his second year. I don't know if you were watching that much, but they were always talking about him leaving. So you get an older actor who's a character actor who's already established and isn't looking. You know, Matt was always wanting to go to Hollywood. You know, you got a guy who's going to stick around. I think Capaldi will stick around for a good. I think he'll be the Doctor for 4 seasons. That's my prediction.
4-season Doctor.
4-season Doctor, which is essentially what Matt was, and David Tennant was technically a 4-season Doctor, but he actually hung around like 6 years. So remember, we're in the 9th season, but Doctor Who's been on the air for going on 11 years now. We're on the 11th Christmas special. So yeah. So what do you want to see out of this year?
Well, the thing that excited me was in the trailer for the new season was Capaldi with his sunglasses and a guitar. I thought that was the coolest thing ever right there, and I hope I just want to see more episodes like the Orient Express, Flatline. I want to see more and more epic too. Like I know you've been talking about a lot about how it hasn't been epic enough. I want to see something epic. I want to see the first episode, like the first episode of the season, or even something from previous seasons where it all makes sense to the end of next season. You know, something like that where everything just kind of explodes epically.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that, and the Matt Smith, it was weird. Is you think about the plot points were epic. He rebooted the universe and stuff, but it just didn't feel big. It was still cool, don't get me wrong, but like, the Stolen Earth, that felt big. That felt like a blockbuster. It had everybody in it.
Right.
You know, I do not understand this, like not bringing back Captain Jack.
Oh man, I would love to see him come back. Especially
everybody wants him. Everybody wants him back. So this is where Stephen Moffat does kind of piss me off, because I think he just I know he knows better than fans, and that's good. That's why he's the showrunner. But I think it's because we want it so much. He just doesn't want to do it. He's all, if the story's right. I wonder if there's something in between him and John Barrowman, because bringing back Captain Jack Harkness would be huge ratings.
Right, definitely.
And maybe they're saving it for something. I don't know. They're bringing back River Song. She is kind of Captain Jack. Although it'd be awesome to see those two team up in a special. Oh, that would be the best.
Right. We haven't seen that, huh? We've never seen River Song and Captain Jack together. That would be something. That could be its own TV show.
Oh my God, yes. I can tell you the one good thing, if Doctor Who ended, I know it would end with all the Doctors. They would bring back everybody, so we'd get one good last hurrah. And it would never end. Doctor Who will never end. There'll always be books. They'll bring it back again. Maybe they'll make a movie. But it's meant to be serialized television. Right now, you can't see on my computer, I have a picture of Peter Capaldi's band, the Dream Boys, when he was a little punk rock singer back in the 80s.
Right. With
Craig Ferguson.
Yes, Craig Ferguson.
Yes.
How would you feel about Craig Ferguson being a doctor?
I would love it. I think he would be awesome, to be honest with you. I would be down with Anthony Stewart Head. I don't know if you're a Buffy fan, but Giles for
right.
I would be. There was talk of the guy who played House. Forgot his name. He would have been a good doctor.
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie, yeah. Well, but Capaldi and Hugh Laurie. Capaldi was kind of the Hugh Laurie of England with his show, The Thick of It. They were kind of similar characters, kind of assholes that we love. Just Capaldi he's old. I mean, he's gonna get a side ache when he's running. And I still want my adventuresome doctor. I know That's not going to happen. I still miss Matt Smith. I think Matt Smith had one year left in him, and I bet you he's, especially after watching Terminator, I bet you he's regretting leaving. But, oh well. Did you see Terminator?
I did not, no.
Oh, God, you saved yourself 2 hours of shit.
Oh, no.
Back to Doctor Who. What do you want to say anything else before we go?
No, I don't know. I don't know what we haven't covered, really.
We've covered that we're looking forward to it.
Yeah,
That's good.
I'm excited. When it premieres, can we say when it premieres? On the
19th.
19th. That is a week? It's about 2 weeks. Just under 2 weeks.
Yes.
I am excited for it.
So, and you are you going to be working Monday the 21st?
No, I'm starting to take Mondays off now, so I will be off on the 21st.
If you want to, let's podcast on the 21st with our thoughts of the first episode.
All right.
All right, man. And they're usually pretty short. They're like 30 to 40
Yeah.
minutes or something like that. So, all right, man.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
So pleasure
Good talking to you.
Pleasure being on the podcast finally.
We're glad to finally have you, man. It works out. It's kind of crazy. So,
Yeah.
that's how it goes. All right, brother.
All right.
I'm going to let you go.
All right.
I'm going to clean my house.
All right. I think I should probably do the same thing, honestly.
All right. Well, take it easy, man.
You too.
Talk to you in a couple weeks.
All right.
At last.
The Cult of Frisco